Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Flaming Puck podcast with me, your host, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, joined by my two esteemed co-hosts, Mr. Chris Ruback and, of course, Mr. Dylan Simpson. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Flaming Puck podcast, the Calgary Flames podcast from the fans for the fans. First and foremost, we'd like to say that we want to thank absolutely everybody for the support that we've had thus far. Everybody from the Flames Hub on Facebook, also the Flaming Puck group that we've made as well. We encourage anybody that listens to the show to come and join the group as well. Anybody that has any suggestions, or hell, even if you want to, call our bluff, call us out. We're happy to do that also. And last but not least, this show is brought to you by the Dynamo Podcast Network, exclusively on YouTube. Video-wise, it's exclusively on YouTube. It's also available on audio, anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. That's enough of all that. It's time to get to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an exciting one because we have a lot to talk about this week, guys. We're going to have some Brad Treliving talk. We're going to have some, do we blow it up? Do we not blow it up talk? We're going to have some, and everything in between, guys, I think realistically, right? But I think there's only one place to start this week. And Dylan, you wanted to get a new segment, which I'm really kind of happy to go with. Just some little news from the week. I think that's the best way to start off our shows going forward before we get on to the main topics. And there's only one place to start, and it's the big man, Mr. Milan Lucic. Guys, take it away.
Well, he played his 1,000th game, and then he played his 1,001st game.
Yeah.
1,001st game, and he, we had a nice little ceremony, and he got his silver stick like you get for playing 1,000 games, and it just shows you the longevity of a guy like that, which is crazy considering the type of game he plays. A lot of guys who play that type of game don't last very long. And, they gave him the silver stick, and they gave his kids silver sticks, which was really
super cute. That was super cute.
That was really awesome and cute, and a really nice gesture. And, it was also like the only time in history that I was happy to hear what Brad Marchand had to say, which was kind of interesting. See his nose on my screen. Usually I hate it, but yeah.
I like Brad.
So is he the only player that fought in his first NHL game as well as his 1,000th NHL game?
You know what? I don't know.
That's a really good point. I mean, we did cover that, didn't we, last week?
I mean, some players have started off, playing tough, doing that, but through time, their body kind of starts taking toll on them, and they kind of ease up on that game a little bit. But this last year, Luch is, he found that resurgence, right? I personally think he had an awesome relationship with Jeff Ward, and that kind of brought out some of his, maybe some of the demons that he was battling. I mean, we don't really know, but
Sure.
He sure seemed to become excited to play the game again, and excited to play the game the way he's always played the game, which is tough, right? Hard in the corners, fight guys, protect your team. He's even faster this year, which is bizarre.
Very much so.
Yeah. And there was that interesting article about his dad that I didn't really know. I hadn't heard about how his dad died.
Me neither. Me neither.
No, that blew me away as well.
Yeah. And
it quite emotional to read that, wasn't it? It was kind of looking back at the ceremony now, even that little bit more special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the resurgence as well. It kind of makes sense maybe why he had thoughts about retiring a couple of years ago, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense now, right?
Doesn't that go back?
Right?
Doesn't that go back to when people are so quick on the trigger with their little mobile phones and quick to kind of blast guys or girls and me
That's the world we live in.
We're all guilty of it. All of us are guilty of it, but you really do not know what some people are going through. And these guys are athletes, and they're also humans first. And absolutely very, very heart-wrenching story, but also, do a full 360 and go back to the game at the start of that. I mean, how slick and cool did Milan look at the start of that? The slick back hair, looking up at, and I gotta say, his beautiful kids and all, the family look great as well. It was great to see them get the little mini sticks as well. I thought that was a really cool gesture.
Did you guys see the interview after the game with Gio and him, and somebody had talked about staging in his 1,000 game and what they figure he's doing with where he has the stick and whatnot, and I think it was Gio that says he still plays with it, I think. Right?
Yeah. No, it was awesome.
I love actually having guys that played with or against these guys in the intermissions or in the post game or whatever. It's always fun having like Stajan and Brouwer and guys who can actually chirp their friends instead of just having a super professional interview. There was one a couple weeks ago, or like a couple months ago, I guess. Stajan made fun of Gaudreau's height, and like straight up blasted him on it, and then Gaudreau came back and blasted Stajan's hands, and it was funny, right? It was good TV.
Of course,
it's actual emotion, right? It's not your designed NHL answers to things, which we've all grown to despise.
I love the video package. I gotta say, I love the video package, and I think it made it more emotional. I'm not gonna lie. I'll hold my hand up. I definitely shed a tear during the Lucic video package. I thought it was really, really cool.
Even the tough, hard-nosed man is man, Ian Kelly.
Hey, Luch looked like he was crying too, so that's what got me.
Love it.
Luch looked like he was crying too. Here, I'm in playoff mode with my beard here. What's going on? You what, Dylan? Sorry.
Yeah.
So I definitely had a tear. It wasn't quite like Iginla's retirement and
oh, that's different.
Hall of Fame and all that. Tear.
I mean, hearing the Iggy chant in the dome will always raise the hair on my arm.
Yeah.
You know what it
always
is?
Will, right?
It's almost a tear of appreciation more so than anything. You know what I mean? Because
that's what it is.
It's nostalgia, right?
He's one of the last of his kind. You know what I mean? So, but I guess that's.
I have the same hair raising on my arm whenever I hear the great Peter Marr do anything related to the 04 run.
Sure. Sure.
Listening to any of that, like still to this day, every time I hear it raises the hair on my arm. Like it gives me chills.
You get chills, Chris, every time you hear Joe Nwanda, his name being mentioned.
You know what? At my old age, I just get chills because it's cold. Like I get it all the time.
I'll drink to that, ladies and gentlemen.
Cheers, fellas.
And cheers to you guys for listening to us on the Flaming Puck. We should mention, obviously, there is a little bit of news that is only a couple of days old as well. Josh Levo is going to be missing for an unknown period of time, I guess. We weren't sure yesterday whether the game would go ahead or not, due to kind of obviously the COVID regulations that the NHL has in place up in Canada. Dylan, you wanted to speak on this a little bit.
Yeah, well, not so much on the COVID protocol thing, because that's something, I think we were the last team in the NHL that actually had a guy go on. I could be wrong on that, but sure. It's something all teams have to deal with. It's not really a big deal. I mean, he did test positive, so that is a big deal for him, and all the best. Hope he recovers as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That being said, what I wanted to talk about is possibly who could replace him.
That's right. We still have a couple of weeks worth of games while he's away. So, how does that impact the Flames? Who's going to draw into the lineup? Is it going to be somebody young looking for a full-time position for the 2022 season?
That's my shout. Adam Ruzicka is my pick. That's just me off the bat. Yeah.
One of those two guys, Ruzicka or Godin, would be my
one of them. I know Godin has a little bit more experience playing at right wing than Rosicka. I know Rosicka plays primarily as a center, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah, I think Godin does too, but
oh
I
no,
think
I
he's
know,
more.
I know. But I think Godin has a bit of experience. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be happy with either.
I'd be surprised if Godin didn't get a game or two between now and the end of the season.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, I think it's time to get him up there and see what he can do with the guys that we have on staff right now.
Because he's a big boy, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he plays that style of game. So like, he's been in Stockton for what, two full seasons now?
Godin, yeah. I think he was pretty up there on the team points last year. I don't know if he led or not, but I know he led for quite a bit of the season last year. And I think it's time that we start bringing those guys. Those two probably, it would have been nice, honestly, like as much as it's great to have the depth that Brad signed in the offseason. It would be nice to give our younger guys who have potential more of a chance.
I think it's time to see what we have down there. More importantly, before the draft, right? So we know what we need to address. What do we need, right?
That's a good choice of words, Chris. I mean, let's address one kind of elephant in the room that most Flames fans and most Flames podcasts are talking about, and we won't spend too long on it. But Oliver Chillington. I mean, this guy quite clearly is just not fancied by anybody, right? I mean,
he's never shown anybody why they should, right?
Yeah, no.
I mean, he has a game there, here, or there, but I mean, as far as his career as a whole, it's just like, meh.
See,
he's okay.
I've always liked what I've seen from him. Like he reminds me a lot of a young Brody, but he also reminds me of a guy who, in classic Flames fashion, he'll have a bad play and then he won't play for 3 weeks. And so we don't really know if he can, if he can play a couple games and then shake those cobwebs that he gets from never playing and maybe have sharper play, because he plays 1 or 2 games and then he's off for 3-4
What
weeks.
Do you guys think would be a fair amount of games for us to see, like, consistently? What do you think would be a fair amount of games for us to see from Chillington?
4
or 5. Yeah.
Okay.
4 or 5. Yeah.
So that's not even excessive. That's not even too much to ask, especially in where we're at right now, right? I mean, we're playing Mark Stone. And by the way, Mark Stone, it's probably the best we've seen him play defensively for.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
He's looking. Well, he knows, he's been in the league. He knows what it takes to stay in the lineup, or at least attempt to stay in the lineup, right? He knows he's got to play hard. He has to hit.
But where we're at right now, surely. But where we're at right now, surely that game time could be given to Chillington as well, just because we have got nothing to lose, right?
Once we're mathematically eliminated.
Well, we do.
That's just it, right? I mean,
we do.
The coaches and management need to play every single game right now, and like they're still in the hunt for the playoffs.
Sure, yeah, and that's we're gonna.
So until they're mathematically eliminated, they have to play every game that way, or else it just shows how it shows a loser mentality.
And that's the difference between the Flames and the Oilers of the past. The Oilers are happy to kind of just give up and.
That's because the entire world knew that they were not going to make the playoffs by November, right?
Yeah.
And so they would just they were just trying to build on something. Don't know what.
So, and the other thing is
first overalls.
It's really hard to scratch somebody who hasn't given you any reasons to scratch. Like,
sure, yeah.
Stone has played so well as a 6th defenseman that some of us on the podcast here have said, we should have the guy on the power play because he actually shoots sometimes, and shot is fucking hard, and he hits and he plays solid defensively and he can skate well, and you can't scratch that guy, might.
He's not out of place at all.
A little bit, maybe Anderson. He's had a pretty bad season. He's a great player in my opinion. I love him, but I think his season has been pretty freaking bad.
It's been really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I was just playing
Yeah.
devil's advocate with Michael Stone, just in terms of, you know what I mean? Because for me, I'm a Michael Stone fan, and I think he's probably got one of the hardest fucking shots from the blue line. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's right. On the team, he does for sure.
yeah.
At the end of last season, Rasmus Anderson was on most fans' untouchable list.
Yeah.
Is he there right now?
No,
Is he on that list?
no.
Who on the Flames right now is on that list?
Tanev?
Yeah, Tanev. I think Markstrom has to be. That's kind of funny. Those two.
Only
even
because of his
only one.
contract, though.
fresh.
Only
Tanev is the
because of
only
his
one, though. we don't have anything outside of Tanev unless we're dipping into,
Yeah.
you know,
And-
prospects.
Honestly, like I still think Kachuk should be. You know what? Nobody should be untouchable if you get the right
agree.
trade offer.
Pieces, yeah.
Fucking do
You,
it.
you, you
But-
have to be willing to listen to anything, right? For any
Exactly.
player.
And
Yeah.
but as far as like somebody who you overvalue, maybe to the point of nobody will offer you enough, if that's what you call untouchable, I definitely put Kachuk on that list.
For me too. I mean, if anybody asks me, and call me a fanboy if you want, that's no problem. I think Kachuk is obviously going through some shit at the moment, and I don't think this is the end. I mean, listen, there's a saying that we have for football over here. You know, form is temporary, class is permanent, and I'm sure you guys have it over there, and that goes for a lot of those players. It's the same with
And
Joe. You know,
And that goes for soccer players. That's a saying up over there.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Form is temporary,
I'm
class is
like,
permanent. Because sometimes guys would
It's a
be
good
ripping
statement.
on you. What? It's a good one. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because over here, like you'd have a certain player, like Ronaldo or Messi could go like 2 games without scoring a goal, and people be like, "Oh, here comes the slump now. Father time is catching up with them," and it's like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
They probably ate too much pasta the night before. Give them a break, goddamn.
yeah.
But it's the same, and I think I think Rasmus Anderson is a quality player, absolutely. But has he shown us enough over this amount of time to show that can he bounce back from it? That's a question that people can ask.
That's what I'm interested for next
Yeah.
season. Is
We
which
don't know.
of these players are going to bounce back and get
Yeah.
back to what they were last
So-
year or the
so
year
here's-
before.
But Dylan, what you're saying, Dylan, is that you believe that Chucky, without a doubt, has the mental capacity and the skills to come back.
Yeah, and also the age, but
Yes, age.
there are young guys who have great seasons and then just fizzled out, even though
Yeah.
they're young.
Yeah,
And do I think Kachuk is going to come back? Absolutely. Do I think Anderson is going to come back? Maybe not to his previous form from last year, where he showed all this potential to possibly be our next number one defenseman, but he will be back to being better than he was this year. I'm
hope so.
almost
he's a high value
Yeah.
asset though. In the meantime, right? With a good-
especially with the fucking contract he's
with a
on.
good
He's
with a
got
good contract.
a really
Good contract.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at that German kid. If that German kid, what's his name? Oh, god damn it! It's in Detroit. Reiner, what's his name?
Ronick?
No, young German guy, long hair as well. He actually looks like somebody's going to call us out on this.
Who the hell is that?
Yeah, young German
Detroit?
kid with Detroit. He was drafted in number 6, I think, in 2019, I believe it was. I'll get his name. But the point I'm making is that, there is certain players that the Flames have here when we play kind of fantasy GM that, are valuable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if it was a case, if ever, if a new GM comes in, which we'll get onto later, wanted to kind of break that Swedish core kind of deal going on. There's
Talk
definitely
about Thomas Grace.
there we go. I think that's him. Yeah.
Well, Thomas
That's Greece.
Grace is the goalie. Right?
No, that's not him.
Yeah.
What's his name?
He's definitely not a kid.
Is it Reader?
either.
Toby? No, not Reader.
Yeah, Tobias. Can you imagine?
Fuck Tobias, indeed.
We can only hope to have Tobias
Maurice
Rader.
Maurice Sider.
Who is it?
Maurice Sider.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm sorry. I was checking out some of his video packages on YouTube, and I was like, that guy looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's him.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, Maurice Sider. That's him.
Big defensive prospect.
German guy.
Is he playing for them right now or no?
I think so. I think
he's got some games because I was watching some video packages on YouTube and on NHL he looks like he's gonna be a big fucking unit, but he's got some really good passing skills as well. Like he's tidy on the puck. To me, he looks like, I mean, he's only 20 years old as we speak, and good Lord, he looks. Young. To me, he looks awesome. Yeah. I like looking at some of the prospects and you know, especially guys that like a 20-year-old playing in Detroit and getting game time. It's like, shit, Chillington, you're fucked.
Yeah, right. Well, there's a reason why they keep bringing him in on entry level contracts, right? I mean, it's always a show me year, and he doesn't show you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how many of those do you get?
Yeah, I mean, the last
prove your goddamn worth or get out.
Oh, what's he had? 4 games all season to show.
Well, but what did we say? You know, a reasonable chance to show is 4 to 5 games,
like
and
in a row.
Yeah,
it's true.
But I mean, like when he plays 3 in a row, and nobody feels comfortable putting him in on the 4th.
I think he played 2 in a row at one point this season. And the second game, I was actually really impressed with him. The first game, he seemed like he was really overexcited to get this opportunity again or whatever, and just kind of was trying too hard to make some plays. And then the next game, he was actually pretty good.
Well, he got that headshot in the Edmonton game as well, don't forget. And that's when Kara got knocked the flip out
by Mr. Ritchie.
Yeah,
meat hands.
I still show people that video right now over here in Ireland. I'm like, guys, you got to get into hockey. Watch this video. And like, they just see Chara's eyes. He's like,
is the bad man gone?
Yeah. Me and Dylan were actually texting. Dylan and I were texting during that as well. And like, I was going, yeah, fuck that guy. Dylan was like, don't be so harsh, dude. I was like, I'm from Ireland. What can I say?
Well, I'm not saying like, you know, he deserved to be beat up, but when you see with that look in their eyes, you're always fucking worried.
It didn't bother me, dude. Yeah. He blindsided a guy into the temple and could have killed a guy. He deserved to get knocked out and then some. If that was in Dublin City, dude, he probably would have.
I mean, obviously, I agree with you 100%, but obviously both of us are not hoping that anybody's career.
Oh no. I just wanted the guy to have a bad night's sleep. That's all. I didn't want any kind of career injuries.
He had a blindsided hit. Plays for our most long-standing rival. He deserved it.
He deserved to get knocked out, and he deserved to get a concussion, and he deserved to have a bad night's sleep. But he also deserved to wake up the next day and be able to put his skates on again. So, you know,
100%. And he deserved the dozen memes that went around social media.
Absolutely. And all I'll say is Brett Ritchie, you know what? He should have had his Dallas jersey on it because he looked like a big-ass Texan that day, didn't he? Hey, motherfucker. You won't hit my boy?
That was, leading up to that game, Brad, Richie was just, he was good, did a couple of good hits, played. Yeah. And then he did that, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this Richie guy?
Yeah.
I got to dive into him a lot more.
I was the same.
Hands like that.
He's like a mix of Bret Hart and like Richie Sambora.
Holy shit, we have somebody who can skate and will stand up for their teammates. That's fucking crazy.
because poor old
Yeah,
Valimaki tried to, get to. Although we will say, Kara at that time in the previous game as well, he had fucked with Bennett as well. Remember, he got in a fight with Bennett. So
yeah,
I think Kara had a little bit of he was kind of sticking the chest out.
Yeah,
He was a tough guy,
and he's done that. Right? Him and Bennett have gone toe to toe a couple times.
So I think that was just a come to Jesus meeting from the old Mister.
He was pretty much a non-factor the last time we played them.
Oh yeah, he was very quiet.
And by pretty much a non-factor, I mean you didn't know he was on the ice.
Yeah,
which is the first time this season.
It's amazing what getting knocked out can do for people.
Yeah, and Daryl did actually match him up against Richie as much as he could. So, I mean, it's the psychological game, right?
It was funny because during that time as well, I remember on the Flames sub, everyone was saying, "Why didn't they let Lucic do it?" I was like, "Dude, you didn't need to let Lucic do it. Like the job is done."
When your heavyweight doesn't need to come in and do that, like
that's a good
why
day.
bother?
It's a bonus having two heavyweights finally.
That's right. Yeah, because I mean, what is Richie? 6'4", 220?
6'4", 220.
Yeah.
He's not a little kid.
That's a big boy. Kid. That's a big boy. Actually.
And as we've seen, he can throw his mitts. Like he's got hands.
He got in a fight the other day. I can't even remember who it was against. I think it was in Ottawa, but both guys were big and both guys could throw, and neither of them were going down. And then the ref split them up and said that's enough because they were both exhausted. And Richie shook his hand and shook his head, and you could tell he was pissed off that he didn't fucking fuck the guy up.
Yeah,
yeah.
It
was too much of it. Yeah, it was a junior high dance is all that was, right?
Yeah,
I love it.
And then you could tell he was getting frustrated by that. Yeah, that's fair.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the discussion of all discussion regarding our GM, Mr. Brad Treliving. So don't you go anywhere, because we're literally going to be back when you watch this video in 1 second.
Welcome back to the Flaming Puck podcast, everybody. Before we start ripping Brad Treliving a new asshole, we just wanted to have a quick fun thing we're going to do. Like I said on the last episode, I wanted to give something away. I've chosen to give away a 3 foot by 5 foot Flaming C flag. Unfortunately for you, it's actually not going to come from my room because my room is untouchable. But I am going to purchase it and get it to you. So if you would like to get in on that, here's how you do it. I want you to promote our YouTube on any form of social media that you have, share it, and comment with it. But you also need to tag either the Flaming Puck Facebook group, myself, Chris Ruback, Dylan Simpson, or Ian Kelly, because we need to know you've done it. And before the next episode, I guess really during the next episode, sorry, whoever has done that is going to go into a pot, and I'm going to draw it, and then we'll get that flag out to you. Just trying to spread the love that we're trying to spread with the podcast, and we could sure use your help. That being said, who wants what from Brad going forward? What are we looking at with this man? I mean, he's had what, 5 years, 6 years,
6, I think.
Six.
Yeah, he was hired in summer of 14. Is that right?
Yeah. So I'll take this one. Originally, at the beginning and halfway through the year, before Sutter came in, I was straight up ready for a blow it up rebuild. Get rid of 70% of the current roster that's been around for 5-6 years. Keep a select few to build around and pile up draft picks and prospects and maybe a couple of roster players. And that being said, we got a coach who only wants to coach for a cup, wants to get the team to being as high in the standings and winning playoff series. And so I don't think it's fair to him. I also don't think it's really fair to Markstrom or Tanev, who came in this offseason, signed long-term contracts with no moves clause and no trade clause, and it's not really fair to them to say, hey, you two veteran guys, you're stuck here for the rest of your career or for the majority of your career, and you really don't have a chance in hell at winning a thing. But since Sutter came in mostly, I think it'll be at least until he leaves, whether he quits because we have just started a rebuild or he gets fired.
Well, and let's be honest, Sutter's not the guy for a rebuild. He really
absolutely
isn't.
No.
So
no, he's the guy for veterans.
100%. And Brad was finally given the permission from the ownership that, as we all know, ownership has stifled GMs for spending money on coaching staff and going after those top elite players. But Brad was finally given the ability to go and hire a name, somebody that has won before, somebody that, has that track record. It was his fourth, right? Because he's hired Glenn Gullickson, he's hired, then he hired Bill Peters, which transitioned to Jeff Ward, and now Daryl Sutter. So I think people are just ripping him a new one right now, because of the coaching. I heard somebody today saying, he's hired 6 coaches, which is not true. He's only been here through 5, and he didn't hire the first one. He didn't hire Hart.
But at the same at the same time, to be here for 6 years or whatever and be through 5 coaches or even really 3 coaches is too fucking many.
Well, can I say one thing as well, just as a preface as well? Anybody that listens to us, not most of you are on the Flames Hub or on the Flaming Puck group on Facebook as well, and I kind of put up a little bit of a poll, which people start adding to it, and I didn't want that, but that's okay. I didn't mind you guys adding to it. That was fine.
I was going to say sorry about that. I think I
was that was okay. I just saw trade Johnny Gaudreau start popping up and all those. But realistically, what was behind the mind here was to get a mindset from the fans and from you guys. Listen to the show of where your minds are at and where your heads are at. And I think Dylan made some really good points there. A lot of people have a bit of a loyalty to Trey, but they're kind of saying, right, well, is it time now? Look, here's my point. Here's where I'm at. It's real simple. I'm going to lay all my cards on the table. Here's where I'm at. He's had 6 years. Have we progressed or have we regressed? That's the question.
Or have we roller coastered?
We've kind of gone full circle.
We have done a roller coaster, but I can't see. He's put all of his chips into that core that we have now. The Geos, the Monis, the Gaudreaus. We have Gaudreau pretty much will he, won't he kind of sign. I think the writing's on the wall. He's been afraid. This is my big problem with Brad, and he's been afraid to get rid of his buddies. You know what I mean? The guys that he's made friends with. And I mean that with all due respect. With all respect. You know what I mean? It's real easy for us to sit on the peripheral and sit here and play fucking, NHL 21 on our PlayStations and go, boom, it's real easy. Get rid of that guy. It's different when you got a relationship with these guys. I know that. You can see it in his face when he got rid of Sam Bennett because that was one of his picks, you
can't just trade Derek Ryan for Mantha straight across.
Did you not know that?
Oh shit. Yeah, you know what? This whole gaming thing has messed up my ability to think rationally.
So I'm going to pass it over to you guys. That's where I'm at. That's where my problem with Brad is. I've mentioned it as well in groups as well. And shout out to Brad Baroud who actually commented on our post today as well. Hope Brad is.
I'm
a big fan.
I'm of the same mind, Ian. At the end of the day, I don't have big decals of Brad Treliving in my room. I
Exactly.
don't have big decals of Johnny Gaudreau in my room. I am a fan of this emblem right here,
Yep.
this crest.
Yep.
This is what I love. And I'll be honest with you, I don't give a fuck who plays for it as long as they're playing hard and they're playing to win. That is my
Exactly.
only stick. That's it. 100%.
Yeah.
Do I have players that I've really enjoyed watching? 100%. Do I love watching Johnny Gaudreau? You're damn right I do. When I'm in the dome and I'm watching him do his thing, it's a thing of beauty.
It
Yeah.
really is.
However, he is not on my untouchable list. I don't have a player anymore that's on my untouchable list, especially after this season. Everybody has struggled at some point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody on the team has struggled. I don't have a single untouchable guy. We need to make this team better, and it has to come from Brad, or Brad needs to step away.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna
If
say,
he's not willing to make those moves.
I was gonna ask you guys the question as well, because you guys, like, you were domers, you know what I mean? You guys are there. I'm here in Dublin. I can't exactly get over every week. So
Yeah.
it's not
We
for me.
wish we could too. We wish we could be in there right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm gonna put this to you guys and let you guys kind of explain where you're at to certain fans, that because one thing that I hate, and I gotta say I hate when I see fan bases fight with each other. Have a debate,
Yeah.
but don't start fucking abusing each other over
Yeah, there's
you know
no reason for
a
that.
difference of opinions, because at the end of the day, right, I'm a Brad out guy, okay, but does that mean that I hate Brad Treliving? Absolutely not. I wish him the best. I think he's got skills that could, without a shadow of a doubt, help certain teams at the moment. You know what I mean? I think he could help Minnesota. I think he could definitely help Vancouver. I think he could help many teams. I think there's also somebody out there. And do I have the name right now? No, I don't have the name right now. That for somebody that could come in. Maybe it's Chris Ruback or Dylan Simpson. I don't know. Maybe it's Ian Kelly. but you know what I mean? I don't have the name right now.
Below the podcast, there'll be a petition if you can get that signed for either Chris Ruback or Dylan Simpson for the next GM. That's fine.
Or
So,
Ian
didn't mean to
Kelly.
cut
Don't
you off.
forget me. Come on.
Or Ian Kelly. Yeah, you
Come
can
on.
do it
We
from
can do it
afar,
on Zoom.
right?
I can work from Zoom.
Murray Edwards is the owner from afar. So what the hell? Why not do it with the
There
GM
you go.
too?
But I guess the point that I'm making, guys, is that we and I'm going to hand it over to you guys after this, because I want you guys to really kind of talk through this with me. If it is a case right now where it's looking very, very likely, okay, we're in a game night tonight where we're in game 2, obviously, of the three game mini series with Montreal. It looks like we're not gonna get there. All right, we're not.
It's gonna be a big fucking hill to climb.
It's gonna be a big hill. So
I'd say 90% of our remaining games at least.
this is the real question.
Minimum.
Do we blow it up, or do we give Brad one more year? And if we give him one more year, why are we giving him one more year?
Okay.
Boom. Dylan, you go for it.
It comes back around full circle to kind of what I was saying, and kind of what Chris was just saying about being a fan of the team,
Sure.
of the crest, of the logo, of the organization,
The
of
history.
the city, and not so much of the players. And back to what I was saying about, is there an untouchable? No. If the deal is right for the organization, trade Kachuk. But I don't think that would be good for the organization.
Sure.
But at the same time, do I like Treliving? Do I like some of the moves that he's done? Yes. Do I like the fact that he brought in James Neal because he was legitimately trying to give us a top 6 right winger, because that's what we've been missing this time?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that he did that. Does it really suck that it didn't work? Yeah. But the plain and simple fact of the matter is, unfortunately, nothing he's done has worked that well, other than the Lindholm and Hannafin thing, and maybe a couple other things, but not much he's done has worked really well. He has tried.
That's right. He's swung for the fences, right?
No, but I think the best thing for the organization is to get rid of him. I think the best thing for the organization is probably to have an actual rebuild. Again, that won't happen until Suther's gone. But
No, well, I disagree with that personally. I think it can happen with Sutter personally, but I digress. Continue.
yeah. No, those are all my.
Let me ask you a question on that then, Chris, based on what Dylan said. Brad quite clearly has skills that lend themselves to somewhere. Do you think that Brad could take his skills to a bigger? I don't like to say a bigger organization because I'm a Flames guy like you guys. I am the same. I care about the crest. I care about the team. But do you think his skills would be well suited to owners that maybe have a bit more?
Maybe, but you don't trade GM, so it's kind of irrelevant. You know
Oh
what I mean?
no, I know. I'm
Like,
just saying.
like I'm kind of the same mind even when it comes to players. Once they leave here, I don't really give a shit how they're doing.
Yeah, sure. No, yeah.
I'll glance in on him every once in a while. I think. I mean, yeah, he has ability, obviously, or else he wouldn't have the role he's in now. Could he make, a different team better? Maybe, probably.
Okay, well,
depending on the coaching, depending on
Let's get back to the Flames then.
Yeah, dude, like he's tried hard. Like, he's brought in free agents that, 29 or 30 other teams, depending on the year, have wanted to sign. Like, and he's been able to get it done. Cue your James Neal, your Troy Broward. I mean, there were people that wanted both players, teams that wanted them. They were sought after players. Did it work? No, it just didn't. Just didn't work. Is that on Brad Treliving? Not in my eyes.
Okay, well here's where
maybe he signed a contract that he shouldn't have because it was a bit high. But I mean, at the end of the day, he was trying to improve the team.
You got to give money to get players. That's just how it is.
100%.
What about this year then? What about the off season? I've heard a couple of people make some points, and I want to put these points to you. I actually wrote them down. You look at Sam Bennett is a guy obviously that we spoke about last week that's gone now, and he's playing on a line with Huberdeau, but he's also playing with Duclair, who I think is an absolutely beautiful player. I think Duclair is a really good hockey player. Mm-hmm. He was available this year, but Brad Treliving decided. In fact, and I know this is gonna pain you, Chris, but realistically, Simmons was available, Perry was available, but he brought in Simon, Brett Ritchie, who we've spoken about, which is fine. No, that's fine. And we brought in Nordstrom. I mean, these guys have combined for a total 1 assist. That's it. Not Ritchie now. Ritchie excluded.
Yeah. Well, Nordstrom has a couple of goals now, but
Nordstrom, he's 1 goal, right? He's only 1 goal.
Is it 1 or 2? I mean, either way. I mean, when you look at it, you have Simmons, who has already outright said publicly that he would not play for the Flames.
Okay.
You have
Did he though? I mean, if the money was on the table, like, hey, we'll give you an extra.
Yeah, no, he did say that a few years ago.
He publicly said it 2 years ago. He will not play for the Flames. Yeah,
well, fuck that guy. So we'll get him.
Exactly. And then, like, as far as like Perry, if Brad would have signed Perry, he would have been lynched. You cannot sign that player in this market. Yeah. Like this, our fan base. Like
the years. How many years
that would have been brutal
in Anaheim straight? How many years did we lose 5 games a year in Anaheim straight?
So 13.
But fans can be very fickle. Yeah. All it takes is a goal or two and somebody to drop their gloves and fight for your team's badge, and then you know.
Yeah, but Perry's not dropping the gloves.
Oh no!
They'll run from him.
I know that. I know that. No, well, look, I didn't know that Simmons said that. So fuck Simmons, fuck him. Yeah. But what about
I've been on
Duclair though? Okay,
no, Duclair. So what did he sign for? What was his contract?
He was within our budget. I think it was 3-2, I believe.
I don't think it was much, but
It wasn't much.
I'll-
I think it was 3-2. And it was a left winger, but he can play on the right as well, which we need the right. And he is a top six. So, I mean, I think that's, and look, this is after the fact. Hindsight is 2020, like I said. But
1.7.
1.7, dude. I mean, that's so gettable.
Okay.
That's so
Yeah.
gettable.
No,
You know what I
I
mean?
apologize. I
1 year
honestly
contract.
thought that he was closer to 3.5.
In fact, I doubled his salary by saying 3-2. So there you go.
I remember why you said that, Christo, and that's because he spent a really long time looking for, I think it was 5. He was looking for like 5. And he spent a really long time in the summer trying to get something.
He did. Yeah.
His play didn't warrant. And he
But I mean, my point is that you could have got Duclair on a 3-year deal or a 2-year deal on 3.2, which still would have been a reasonable price in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt. So what I'm saying, listen, I'm not saying we're playing fantasy GM here, but these are the players that were available.
Yeah.
That Brad wasn't looking at, and this is where my real problem comes from. I mean, Simon is like literally, where is he? He's down in the heat now. And it's just money that, I mean, can you blame the ownership not trusting Brad with free agents in some ways? I personally can't.
Just so when it comes to so you have players like Anthony Duclair, okay?
Yeah.
Who last year set his record for goals at 23. That's his record.
Which is better than most Flames right now.
Yeah.
Sure. He has 6 right now in this season.
But he plays big and he's a good player. I mean, the Florida look
100%.
Yeah.
100%. No, I like his game a lot. I really do.
Levo plays
big.
I like Levo.
Brad,
that's by the way, Brad should be
is Anthony Duclair. Is Anthony Duclair the answer for the Flames?
No.
Really?
No.
I don't think he would be the reason why we're talking about a playoff push.
No. I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
But no, 100% I know what you mean. But at the same time, is he better than what we have? Yes.
Sure. He's better than the free agents that we brought in.
Yes.
That are kind of in and out of the lineup.
Including Richie. Richie. He would have got.
Sure. Yeah.
He would have played on that top line with Money and Johnny, and I guarantee you, I would put my. I mean, I can't prove it now because it's hindsight, and it's not real, but guarantee you he would have kept his place as a right wing on the top line this year without a shadow of a doubt, and I guarantee Money.
He would have been a top 6 for sure.
Yeah.
He would have been a top 6. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't say I guarantee he'd be on the top line. Would he make the team better? Yes, obviously. He's a good hard-nosed player. And who knows? He might have gelled with John. No, you don't know, right?
I think he would have. I think he would have definitely had a little bit more to offer, than say Richie. And no disrespect to Richie or Levo, just in terms of.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
Levo had given the last season and a bit with his injuries. I mean,
he's free next year. He's free next year, so maybe we get him on the $4 million contract for 2 years.
So as far as Simone goes as well, like Simone, when Sidney Crosby tells everybody that this player is fantastic, and he proved it by playing really well with Crosby. And I'm not saying that most players in the league couldn't play well with Crosby, because most of them.
I think I could.
But here's the thing that most people probably don't really get, and that's the reason why Levo didn't work with Monty and Johnny. The reason why Simone didn't work with Monty and Johnny. Monty and Johnny aren't cycling players. They are rush creating players.
Yeah.
And what does Crosby do? Crosby holds the puck behind the net on the board, cycles it out, circles around, and his players cycle. Levo, he cycles the puck. That's why Levo started playing well when he was playing with who was it? Bennett and Bennett, Richie, I think for a couple games, they started playing really well together because they cycle the puck. You can't just put players who play a completely different game together and expect them to gel like that.
Oh,
Sometimes,
for sure.
sure, but you can't expect it to gel, and you can't try and force it when that's not the game that Levo has ever played. Levo has never really been a rush creator. Monty and Johnny have always been rush creators,
So that's on coaching then, right?
Yep.
That's on coaching. That's not on Brad.
No, definitely not Brad.
Necessarily, right?
No.
I mean, and the other thing is Brad brought these guys in, all these guys we're talking about, I think, at league minimum or very close to league. You don't sign guys to league minimum 1 year contracts and be like, hey, you're in the top 6. You just don't.
So does this boil down then? Because I mean, you guys are making a great case for Brad here, and this is kind of what I want to do, because I don't want this to be the anti-Brad podcast. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
But
so,
is it how well does Brad know his team? Then that's really what it boils down to.
You know, I'm not going to say he doesn't. I'm not going to say he does, but one thing I will say is, do I want a new GM for this coming draft, this coming off season? Yeah, I do. I think he's had plenty of chances. Do I think that he's tried really hard and he gets an absolutely crap rap for it? Yeah, I think he catches a lot more flack than he deserves, but I also don't think that all the chances he's got, even though he's done all these things, he's tried very hard, but it's just time to move on.
I think that's a great way to we'll finish with Chris here, because I think that there's not a lot we can say much after this. So Chris, bring us out here.
You described that very well, Dylan. That's a very good point. You know, like the first player that he drafted was Sam Bennett. And love him or hate him, whatever your feeling is on the player, we just had to trade him.
Yeah.
So does that spell the end for Brad? I think it very well could.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
me too.
Do I want him to be fired? No. I don't. Do I think he could be fired? Yeah. And would I be okay with another GM coming in and heading up the draft? 100%. You know, I mean, he hasn't done anything that's made me, he's not untouchable, right? He's not untouchable at all. No, he's made some good moves. He's made some moves that I don't agree with. He's made moves that have kind of shot for the stars, but they just haven't panned out for whatever reason, whether it be communication with the team they're playing with, or coaching, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, when he came in 2014, here it is, 2021, we're not making the playoffs. So
yeah, I think this is going to be a
I mean?
debate that we're going to obviously come back to, because there is still more games to go, and obviously throughout the off season, the playoffs that we more than likely won't be in. We are going to converse about that. I think this has been a good show today, guys. I think it would be an opportune time as well for Chris just to finish it off once again and explain why people should listen to the show and what they can get from this show.
Well, I mean, let's be obvious here. I mean, let's break down the obvious. When you have 3 of the best looking Flames fans running to date, just talking bullshit on a regular basis, drinking a beer, having fun, playing with the hair, doing what we do. But in all honesty, like we're 3 fans that love our team. We want the best for the team. We always have. You know, we may say things you don't like. We may say things you agree with. We may say things you don't agree with. At the end of the day, it's all okay. We're having fun. We're talking about our favorite team. And I mean, another reason to talk. I mean, you can get that flag. Don't forget about sharing the podcast for that flag. But no, it's been a lot of fun I can't believe it's been 5 episodes, to be honest with you guys.
Number 5.
Where have the years gone? Is what I'm thinking. No, it's been so much fun. And even the conversations we're having in the Flames Hub, Flames Hub, as well as the Flaming Puck Facebook groups, right? Just having fun, right? Let's talk about our team, the love for our team. Do we need to make changes? Yeah. Do we need to not make changes? Yeah. I don't give a shit. Let's talk about it. Let's have fun doing it. Thanks everybody for watching. It's been a lot of fun.
I think that's, yeah, amen to that. I can't add anything to that. Where you'll find us is, of course, on the Dynamo Podcast Network. All the audio is going to be going up as well. So all 5 episodes of the audio will be going up. Episode 1 is up on the DPN, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you listen to your favorite shows. All 5 of them are going to be thrown up next week as well. So you'll be able to listen to that on your daily commute. If you prefer to listen to the audio version, then look at our beautiful faces. That's absolutely fine. I would be intimidated too. But
that's a lot of hair.
Yeah, absolutely. Only on the bottom end.
That's right.
But guys, until next week, it's been a pleasure. And I think the only way to kind of end this show is go Flames, go.
Go
Big
Flames.
game tonight.